Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Dere podcast, where we talk about anime and shit. My name's Lee.
Uh, oh,
God damn it.
David.
This is Brady all
Sup,
over again.
Tyler?
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Alex.
And
This
today, we're
opening
not
will
going to
never
talk
not
about
be
shows. We're going to talk about other stuff,
My God.
like my pizza.
Before we do anything, I'd like to give a shout out slash dedication. I think last week the James and Brown podcast announced that they are going on indefinite hiatus, and my heart was instantly broken because the J&B podcast, if you don't know, they're two really funny guys who do podcasts on anime, kind of like what we do, and they're the main inspiration on. Like, they're my main inspiration. That's why I wanted to do a podcast in the first place, because those guys are so awesome. So yeah, rip in peace. Not wait, what? Rip in peace. Rip James and Brown
pepperonis.
podcast. I don't mean to sound like insincere, but like I really appreciate all the podcasts you guys made over the years. So yeah, I hope to see you guys in the future.
Very heartfelt.
Very, very nice.
Now back to our podcast. So much better.
Back
What?
to Dere. But yeah, no, like, James and Brown podcast is pretty entertaining. Whenever Aaron showed me it or whatever, because when we first decided we were gonna do this, he was like, "Yo, are we gonna do it like these guys do, or whatever?" And I was like, they do a bunch of episodes each week, whereas we're kind of doing an episode and then questions. Like this week, questions, woo!
Yay.
But they're pretty entertaining, definitely. So it's very sad. But on to the first question then. Lee, take it away.
What's our first question?
Okay.
The openings and endings thing? Alright, we're going to go with the openings and endings. Openings and endings. Do we watch them, and how important are the visuals as opposed to the music, or how important is the music as opposed to the visuals? I'm gonna start by saying that I love openings and endings, and I think the music is the most important part because
But you weren't always like that, were you? But you said
I
that,
used to skip them all
yeah,
the
you
time.
used to skip them all the time. Like, what made you change?
Watching weekly made
Watching
me change because
Really?
yeah, because when I watch weekly, then I want as much of the show as possible because I only get 24 minutes every week, so I watch from start to finish. Whereas, so like, I'll watch through the opening, through the ending, so I get the preview for the next week. Whereas, when I binge watch shows, I will. I used to skip the opening, but I don't do that anymore. But when I'm binge watching shows, I'll usually skip the ending because I don't need the preview for the next episode that I'm going to be watching in literally like 5 seconds.
Mhm.
So I just skip that shit. It's not worth it. But yeah, watching weekly made me change, and
Interesting.
I don't know. I like opening. I like the music a lot.
I think I'm still yet to undergo that change. I still skip the openings after the first 3 times, just because I've seen the song. But I actually think the visuals are a little more important than the music, because a lot of times it'll introduce characters that you haven't seen yet, or some kind of important overarching plot element that's important to pay attention to.
Yeah, I like the visuals. I pay really close attention to the visuals on the first episode of any show because it's a preview for what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have to make it tuned to however long that opening's going to be, which is usually the 12 episodes. So you're looking and you're like, oh look at all these characters. Oh look, there's going to be a big fight happen, or they're just goofing around doing shit, and then Death Parade happens.
I don't know, I feel like you get spoiled by that sometimes too. I like when the openings, they do show what the show's about, but they don't spoil anything for me.
See, I don't really care about spoilers, so.
Rip.
For me, it really depends on the circumstance and my mood. Like, almost completely. So, for example, if I'm watching weekly and like I can be watching airing shows, but like fall behind and then watch like 3 at one point at once. So if I'm watching weekly, I'm more likely to watch the ED and OP if I like them, or if like I might not if I'm like really hyped for the show and I just want to get to the show, then I might just skip it even if I like them. And if I'm binging, like again, 3 episodes, even if it's airing, then I'll probably just either skip them entirely or watch it like once. So it really just depends on my mood. And as opposed, like when it comes to what's important for an ED and OP, I think both visuals and music are extremely important because when those two synergize really well and they're both really well done, it makes me actually want to spend the time to watch the extra 2 minutes or 1 minute and 30 seconds like every single time. So like, and I really appreciate when you can do a good OP and ED, and like it gets me. First of all, they're really important because they get you, like they sort of prime you for the show. Like that's why like even shows in America will always have intros because they set the tone for the show. And so weekly it is really important because it's only 20 minutes the show, but it gets you, like it primes you for the mood for what you're about to expect, which is why Death Parade last season was really weird.
Yeah.
But,
Okay, keep going.
yeah, no, and well, that's basically it. It just they're really important, but like that doesn't mean I won't like always watch it. I'll only really watch it if I like it and it depends on my mood. But they are really important, I find, and I feel.
Can I ask a question specific to this season? Do you watch the Food Wars opening every week?
The opening I haven't actually watched. I mean, I watched the first time, but I haven't watched the past 2.
You're
watched
horrible.
the ED.
It's so
though.
good.
It's so good.
I watched the ED though. The ED is amazing.
Both are amazing. I mean, I spent last Sunday, literally when we weren't recording this, I was just listening to that song over and over again.
I don't remember the opening. I'll give it a try next time. But I just skipped it because I wanted to watch the show. Again, that's another circumstance where I just want to watch the show and so I'll skip that. But the ED I might actually watch every single time. It just makes me feel so happy.
That ED is just so perfect.
It's so good.
Yo, confirmed 24 episodes, right?
Yep.
And also that service.
It's
Yep.
so good. But anyways,
I haven't said anything. So I generally skip the OPs and the EDs every time, because when I watch anime, I want to be as efficient as possible. All right. I know that most anime episodes are around 20 episodes of real content, so I eliminate the OPs and EDs because I know I can watch 3 episodes in around an hour. So I try to do that. I don't want to waste 3 minutes because that time adds up. So
It
that's
only
why
really
I
adds up if
eliminate-
you're marathoning though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're
Well,
watching,
I watch a lot of shows.
Yeah, you know what?
And-
That's true. I forgot that you always watch a shit ton of shows.
Yeah, so that's why. But I sometimes do listen to OPs and EDs if the songs are really, really good. 2 examples are Log Horizon, Database, of course.
yeah.
Every week, listen to that shit. And the Witchcraft Works ED. Really, really cute and nice.
Yeah, I have an example as well, like Parasite. I watched that OP a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
I would almost always
I hated
watch
the OP for that.
Really?
Really?
You're
Why?
horrible.
Wow.
hey,
I
man,
loved it.
Some people don't like Screamo, I guess.
And I'm really glad they didn't change it halfway through. Like I enjoyed it.
Well, Aaron, what about it didn't you like?
The blatant auto-tune and the Screamo in general.
I don't like Screamo, but it didn't feel like straight Screamo to me. Like it just was really. I liked it. I just liked how
Also,
it
I just
synergized
kinda-
really well with the show.
Well, auto-tune, so I don't know. I just didn't like it, and
I
I
don't
wanted.
like. I don't have a bias towards auto-tune. It's like if it sounds good to my ears,
Mhm.
then
It didn't sound good to me. I wanted to get quickly into the show because, I want to watch this, and then I want to move on to the next show.
Like I said, I found it really got me into the mood.
I don't get primed. I don't know why.
The
When,
way you
like, when
said
you
that
said-
just sounded hilarious. No, I don't get bribed. No,
David, you
no,
said
I get.
it
What?
primes you for the show,
Yeah, no, but
I see
I
that.
know.
but I
Yeah.
just don't get primed. it's weird.
David, is that some of your Warframe leaking in here?
Let's not talk about Warframe.
But no, I personally,
Visuals. Yeah, I'm just gonna say something real quick. In terms of visuals, they're not that important to me, because usually I just tab over and listen to the song. So yeah.
I don't like. Visuals are to me again extremely important. Just like there's a show called American Horror Story that's not an anime. You might have heard of it. It's
I know that.
and their intro their intros are always like insanely like creepy. And
that's the scariest part of the show. Like
yeah, and that's the whole
not the
point.
show
It's to
itself.
prime you. It's
Yeah.
to get you ready for like what's to come. And
Well,
again,
in
it's just an
contrast,
example.
Game of Thrones has a really nice sounding intro song, but the actual video that plays in the background isn't particularly.
Actually, I
See-
like the Game of Thrones opening because the video goes through all of the main locations they're going to talk about, and that is kind of along that priming vein again, where you kind of see, all right, we're going to talk about this episode.
I just don't think it's all that like crazy. I just like the song.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean that's Game of Thrones is just an example of something where the visuals aren't as important. But for anime, I find the music usually is like in more cases it's better than the visuals are, because visuals are harder to do well in an OP. I find.
If you
But
can
when
do
they-
visuals well, that's great. I just don't think it's that important to me.
If you just tab over, yeah, but I don't tab over when if I care to watch it. Like I don't, if I care to watch it, I want to see the visuals. That's just how I do it. I'm not just there to listen to it.
well, for me, I'm in there for the long run. So I honestly can't say I've ever watched a series where I didn't, like, I skipped the openings or endings. Well, I skipped the endings, but the openings I watch every single time. The openings are like, when I say the long run, it's like after I finish the show, and like I don't want to like go rewatch it, but like I want to like feel what I did with the show or whatever. I can just go listen to it, right?
Oh,
Like listen to the
makes sense.
opening.
Yeah.
So like with Clannad's after story as an example, that opening, the first 3 seconds, I get chills every single time, just from like remembering how Clannad was and how amazing it was. So I think
I
that
watched
very well.
Clannad's- I watched that ED every single time.
Yeah, like there's just some things that it's like, it's nice to be able to, oh hey, I can go back to this whenever I want and listen to this and kind of remember how amazing that show was, or like how terrible it was, depending on what it was.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I personally, again, it's really just if I like it. I loved Clannad's ED.
Mhm.
Also, another one, just if we're throwing out examples, Spice and Wolves, ED, both of them are great.
Yeah, see, and like if the ED, like I'll watch it the first time, but if it doesn't like appeal to me, then that's when I'll skip the ED because I don't really care for the
I
previews.
thought you just said that you always watch them.
the openings. I always watch the openings.
Oh, openings.
The
Got it.
Spice and Wolf opening was really good to me.
I don't
If the
remember
ending
doing
catches
too
me,
much.
like gets on my good side, like for example, this season's Food Wars or whatever has got on my good side, so I always watch that now. But
I don't watch
usually I don't
any of
watch
this
the
season's
endings.
openings
Why not?
because they're
Nothing
not that memorable to me.
Damn.
Not even Fate Stay Nights is that memorable, if you ask me. Although the animation and art
Oh
is
God,
nice.
Lee, calm down.
I'm okay.
Lee, control yourself.
Just sense it.
He's been triggered.
There's only one hole in the wall this time.
But going back to a few people brought up Death Parade's opening. Now, I feel like that was a bold move.
I
It's such
actually
a dark show and having a happy opening. I feel like that's a bold move. Do you guys like prefer that? Like, was that a nice refresher? I guess.
To be
It was a
misled?
It was a
No,
great
not-
opening. I just didn't think it fit the show.
I actually really liked it because I don't like when openings kind of use like footage from the show. I like when they just kind of create their own little thing to showcase the story.
Mm-hmm.
And for Death Parade, they kind of showcased kind of like the backstory, well, not backstory, kind of like the background of like working in that world that, you know, it's serious. Their job has to deal with death and deciding people's fates, but you know, they're still enjoying themselves. And it was lighthearted to introduce something much, much darker. Liked it.
I definitely liked it. It was a nice like change of pace. I
I
think
liked
it was a good
I just
risk.
didn't think it fit the show.
See, I thought it was great because you guys were like, go watch Death Parade. I knew nothing about the show, and I was like, sure, let's go. And then I watched the opening, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be a really cool show, you know, set in a darker world, but it's going to be this happy show.
No.
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 That was the best bait and switch. I was just like, it was a perfect contrast in my
But like
opinion.
now you'll never forget it, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
it left
Yeah.
that kind of impact on you. Like I feel like more things need that.
I don't know. I think it worked really well for them, but it wouldn't work really well for a lot of other shows. It would not work as well for a lot of different shows.
Like Psychopaths. Probably wouldn't work for that.
Let me say, I didn't think it really clashed. Like I liked watching it, but again, like the fourth time, I just didn't think it fit the show. That's it. I just don't. That's it. That's my opinion. I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay that they used it, but it didn't prime me for the show, like I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're
My prime.
the prime. All right. Well, anyone else?
I'm good.
One quick thing. Another reason I like the songs more, or think the songs are more important, is because that the songs are probably going to stick with you longer. Like, let's get real. When you listen to, let's say, Database, are you going to remember the animation about what happens in the background? No,
Oh,
you're going to be like, database, just living in the database. You're going ham.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because of the song.
I don't go off of like how memorable things are. If I like the visuals of like
What's going to stick?
audio is just easier to remember. That's just how it works.
Well,
Yeah,
it's-
that's
it's-
why I think the music is more important because it's more memorable. So that while
I
I'm playing OS or whatever, or just listening through a bunch of openings, I just hear the few first chords and it's just like, oh right, that's the Attack on Titan opening. Like
Yeah,
it's just, you know, you can see an image of a show. Like there's a bunch of images of shows, but it's that theme.
The song never leaves you, though.
Yeah, that song is always going to be the opening to Attack on Titan. It'll
Okay,
never be
actually,
anything different.
you just convinced me. Music is more important, but I still think that the visuals are.
I
important.
agree
Yeah.
that they're equally important. All right, so like
No,
I can sit
No,
here.
no, I don't think. Lee just convinced me that they're not equal, but I think that.
But I
still
think that
visuals
they are.
very important.
I'm
So,
gonna
like-
be the black sheep here and go the other side.
Well, you're wrong, so...
Well,
let's see what he has to say first.
okay.
Just destroy his ass.
Oh no, not my ass. Well, it's interesting that you say the music is more memorable because I know that at least Lee does music stuff.
I do music stuff as well.
Whereas I barely know anything about music, but I do a lot of animation. So to me, the visuals are more memorable. Like when I think of a show or an opening, like I'll probably remember the song, but I'll remember like little, like short visual bits, and those will remind me.
But the song itself takes over. Like, you're not.
No, I like. Yes, the song is there, but when I think about like the key elements, it's little visual bits.
All right. So
Yeah,
so
I
just
actually. Okay, I'm now torn.
now let me say something. All right? I've been trying to say something this whole time.
Go ahead.
Let's
Go
get
ahead.
real.
Go
So
ahead.
Let's say you're
I
walking down
think
the
that they are
street, right?
both equal in importance because like I can sit here and I can close my eyes and like I'll be able to hear the motions, like Aaron, not Aaron. Lee said Attack on Titan. All right, I think of the Attack on Titan open. I think of like them all falling from the sky and stuff, and like all the flashing screens of like different Titans and people fighting. I think of the opening, and because that was a good opening. And like Clannad, the first 3 seconds, I think of the entire scene of the town going through whatever. Like each thing.
Yeah.
So I think that they are both equally important in the fact that I can remember them together from watching and listening.
All right. You also watch them the most out of everyone here.
Oh yeah, I never skip openings.
Wait,
ever.
what? The most shows or the most
The
openings?
most
openings.
Yeah, the
Because we all.
Alex really just kind of I'm torn now after what Alex said, because now that I think about it, when I think about to my favorite EDs and shit like that, I think of the visuals. Like from the New World, the visuals of the ED I remember very clearly. With a few other shows, I remember the visuals and the
But it's
music.
the song that calls those visuals to mind.
But
I don't know.
They coexist
not
together. They're not separate entities. They're together.
Yeah, but okay, but I don't think that memorable is tantamount to like more important.
Hmm.
So just because it calls that to mind, I don't think that makes it more important. I think they're both pretty. Like, I think it really just depends.
I mean, I can agree that they're both incredibly important, but in my personal opinion, because
Unless
I spend so much time around music sticks with me a lot more. So the music, if I hear the music, I can remember the visuals. But if I see like just screenshots, I'm not like maybe even GIFs sometimes. Like even if I see small snippets of the visuals, I won't recall the music. And I won't remember that was specifically a part of the opening or ending unless I see credits in it. So, to me, it could either be a part of the show or the opening. So, from an opening standpoint, the music is more important to me. But that's definitely a result of me spending most of my life around music.
And then the opposite for visuals for me.
Like I said, tantamount. Not sure if it is.
Well, look at us representing all of the points of view on this issue.
We're gonna have team battles or whatever. Team Tyler only. Yeah. We go both ways.
Team Toaster.
Team
visuals,
Indecisive, that's what
team
you are.
audio, and then team indecisive.
I guess that's me.
Okay. That's all I got on opening and endings.
Oh, I think that's good.
I think we've beaten that horse enough. All right.
Nichijo's ending is amazing. Just saying.
I've only watched 2 episodes of that.
I haven't watched
I've
it.
only watched 7, but the ED is still amazing.
Okay, well,
So-
speaking of more animals, this season, how do you guys decide to pick what shows to watch each season?
I'll go
Is
first
it-
here.
The studio, plot, visuals, anything. What do you look up? Go.
Okay, I really just watch like first episodes of anything that seems remotely interesting based on like the what are those, the key visuals, I think. And after that, I then look at what other people are saying generally, like what they're hyped for, and so I'll watch those like the first episode of those shows particularly, and that'll normally be around like 5 shows, and after that, I'll see what more people are saying about the other shows, and if I like the first episode, I'll watch until the 3rd, and then I'll stick with whatever show I decide to stick with, or I'll have dropped the show, usually by the 3rd episode. And for the rest of the shows, I'll again just wait to see what people say until the 3rd, like on like our anime, and you guys. So that's a pretty simple process for me.
I just go through on the anime chart and I find shows that are either visually or that are visually appealing or have plots that seem to appeal to me. And I just circle them and I'm like, all right, I'll watch the first episodes of all of these and we'll go from there. That's how I do it.
So I also go on like the NA chart, and I pull up a list of all of the shows that are about to air that season, and then I print out a 24 by 36 poster of them.
You weren't joking?
Back,
Of course
back
not.
like 20 paces, blindfold myself, and then just throw some darts to see where they land.
Okay, so you were joking. I got real confused for a second.
Come on, David.
You have to go in there for a second.
No, how I actually do it is I pull up the Annie chart still, but I look for shows that have like striking visuals first, and then I read the plots of them, and then I pick like, I don't know, probably like 10, 15 that sound interesting just based on those, and then I'll watch like the whatever previews are available, narrow that down, and then I'll watch like the first episode, and if I'm hooked, then I'll keep watching. If not, I'll drop it.
I do a bit of research as well. I don't really watch previews, but I'll look into who is directing the show, what voice actors are involved, and see if I like any of them. In terms of like looking at studios, I don't usually do that because, I mean, honestly, even a really shitty studio can create something really nice once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, studios aren't really that important to me.
Agreed.
That's way more research than I put into it.
I don't know.
I just don't wanna
kind of
put the
YOLO
time
it.
in.
I mean, I'll look at the chart and be like, yeah, those shows sound interesting to me. And then you guys will say, well, I'm going to check out these shows. And I'll be like, okay, I'll add those to my list. And then someone else, or I'll be reading on our anime or something like that. And someone else will be like, I'm checking out these shows. And I'll be like, okay, I'll just add those. And then I end up with like 15 shows that I'm watching that I haven't dropped any of yet. And then I like cry myself to sleep. It's a good time.
And then you watch 70% of the show and then drop it right at the end.
Yeah, yep.
Is that actually what you do?
I have more than I have a significant amount of shows that I have roughly 3 episodes left in. Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Has a problem is what he has.
Because
Like,
I am
especially
watching.
if it's a 24 episode show. Like, on my list, there's a show called The Arjivalin, and it was a really generic mech show, but I stuck through it. And like episode 20 out of 24, I was like, you know, I could drop this right now, but I just want to finish this. Like, how can you just stop? Like, I don't
Um,
get it.
I completely get it, unless it's a
for
really good
me-
show.
For me, this is I watch shows to be entertained, right? And
That's
if
true.
the show, well, it's not necessarily that the show stops entertaining me, as opposed to another show entertains me more. So that's one of the
So
reasons.
you're cheating on the shows.
Yeah. I'll just be like,
Promiscuously.
yeah, but
Phrase
these
it.
guys are doing it. They're making me laugh more now. So,
Yeah.
see ya.
Man, Lee.
The analogies I'm
Lee
thinking of
just
right now.
jumps.
I just
Go say
jumped
it,
ship.
Analogies.
say 'em. Say 'em.
To any women out there, do not date Lee.
Basically.
You heard it here first.
But
For
yeah,
me, it's definitely biased towards my use of Crunchyroll. 100%. Like, I'll go to the AE charts, you know, I'll see like what cool key visuals there are. That'll be like my main picking way of like thinking. But majority of it just goes to, alright, what's Crunchyroll licensed so far? I can just go to this website and have it all nicely neat in my queue and just leave it there and watch it every week. I enjoy that a lot more than having to go do other methods of figuring out what shows to watch.
So, do you only use Crunchyroll, or like, will you venture off of it to find other shows?
I'll venture off of it if needed. Like, if like something's really hyped and people are like, oh yeah, y'all should be watching this season. Like, you know, in the
I mean,
community or whatever.
Crunchyroll and Funimation, they both pick up like most of the shows airing anyways.
Yeah, but I've only got a Crunchyroll,
Crunchyroll
membership.
has
I don't
better
have Funimation
subs.
membership.
Crunchyroll has better subs than Funimation, and this is a big thing of mine. Like, I'm a little too particular about subs. Like, when most people don't care, I care, even if I can't notice it. So like, Crunchyroll had subs better, and horrible subs. You know they rip
Fan
from
subs.
Crunchyroll and Funi. Yeah, it's a fan subber, but they just rip from Crunchyroll and Funi, and on Mal you can check what people are rating fan subbers, and they usually always get like pretty bad ratings unless they're ripping from Crunchyroll. Then it's a lot better than Funi.
Mhm.
So also that'll like count into like how often I watch shows. So for example,
Kekai Sensen.
Kekai Sensen, Funi is the only one who has that, and so I don't want to watch their subs. So I'll have to wait for the fan subbers, because fan subbers usually do they can do better. A lot of times they'll do better jobs than the official sub, and that just it's really the principle that makes me want to do that. Even if I don't notice it, like if I can't understand the language like colloquially, or just hearing it and then understanding it, I'd rather have the subs be as good as they can be.
I don't know. I've
Yeah,
never-
bad subs can really ruin an experience. Kind of like what I had with Expelled from Paradise. I was really hyped for that movie, but the subs were really awful, so I didn't have the best of experiences.
Yep. I mean, but that in that case, it's like really bad subs. Like it's really hard to have subs that are immersion breaking. But nevertheless, I still want really good subs, at least compared to what the official source is offering. So it just presents a problem sometimes. Like I use Crunchyroll too, and my only problem with Crunchyroll is that like horrible subs can take from Crunchyroll and have the same subs without the streaming lag. So stream lag, it's really annoying with Crunchyroll. Have you noticed that, Tyler, or no? Your internet never
Mine
or
doesn't
Crunchyroll.
lag on my
So you
desktop.
never get stream lag.
Only on my laptop, and that's like
You
very
never
rarely.
have to buffer. You never have to buffer. You never
I
have to.
never buffer. I never freeze. Never skip.
Wow, you're lucky, because
I'm
I
lucky.
have to buffer a lot, even with good internet. So it's annoying. So I just
Yeah.
tangent, and it's also just when I use Crunchyroll, that also influences what I watch, because if it's something more convenient on there.
Yeah.
Instead of
Convenience is
having
what I
to-
was saying.
Yeah, exactly. But that's just generally how I do things.
I don't know. I've never had a problem with ongoing shows like currently airing that they've had really terrible subs.
Okay, but you don't watch as much anime as us.
That is true.
This is.
I
True.
haven't had that much problem either.
Yeah, the only thing
I've
one time
noticed
I
it
was-
on a few times.
It's
The one
okay.
time-
Here, let me tell you the biggest benefit to watching fan subbers is the typesetting. The typesetting to make it more visually appealing.
Yeah, Kami is well known for having intense typesetting.
yeah,
Great typesetting. Sometimes
They're also
but
known for
they're
being
troll subbers.
Retardedly like
yeah.
trollish.
They're good for Monogatari. That's at least. They do good. They're really good for shows they actually care about.
Yeah. Like, see, typesetting doesn't bother me all that much. So, the only thing that bothers me is when there's, for me, it's mainly misspellings or using grammatically incorrect, like the wrong there or your, stuff like that. That takes me out of the show. But everything else, I don't really care about, like typesets and stuff like that. As
It's
long
not
as I can
all
read it.
typeset. It's not all typeset, but it's a big benefit.
Mhm.
It's a big benefit. It's also just translating, better. It's a better translation. If you won't notice it that much if you just watch the official straight up, but if you compare them, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
And it's a comparative difference. But it matters to me. Just I'm antsy about it. That's all. Even if it's not that big of a deal.
If he's putting in the time to watch the show, he wants to get the most out of it. I see what you're going with, sort of. Right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And,
And since
I might
we're
just
watching
have to.
sub, and we
I
don't
might just-
actually know the language or whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to
we're
have to mute
base of
myself.
it.
I don't have to mute myself or mute you guys every time you start talking about like the most recent episode of Kekai Sensen, because I'm an episode behind because I refuse to watch Funi subs. So I might just have to subject myself to and degrade my eyes.
I don't know. I don't think they're terrible. But
No,
if
it probably won't be.
Yeah. Funi isn't terrible. Like, I feel like they know what they're doing. They've been in the industry for a while. But if you prefer fan subs, then definitely that's what
Okay,
you're going to get.
there's a big thing where they once translated something, and it came out like just like a plan. Like they translated it and it came out just like a plan, but that's like not what the character said at all. Like they said like, oh, let's come up with a plan or something like that, and they came up with just like a plan, and that became like a thing. So now in MAL, like when you see the reviews, if like Horrible Subs is pulling from Funi, you'll just see everyone commenting the phrase "just like a plan," just like a plan, just like a plan, meaning it's Funi shit.
I actually didn't know that. That's pretty funny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, this conversation is actually killing two birds with one stone. You're diving into our next question, which does anyone have anything else to say about how they pick shows?
Not really.
Okay.
Convenience.
I'm just gonna say I think David's method is probably the most efficient because you can get to what is good pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. If you want,
I just skip out on shows that don't seem interesting to me, but like I'll pick them up if enough people say, and so it really doesn't waste too much time.
Mm-hmm.
all right, that's all I have to say.
So our next question, which we've already kind of talked about, is dubs versus subs. And
You didn't really mention dubs that much, so this
Oh,
is
Yeah, this is more
it's a good
it's a good
transition.
Transition, yeah. Dub versus sub. Which do you prefer, and kind of why?
Oh, I'm gonna go later on this one.
Ooh, dub versus sub.
Subs. I
Dub.
prefer subs.
Yeah.
Usually, I will do subs, and there's a very good reason for that. It's because I feel like dubs are more appropriate when the characters are not Japanese.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the Bakano dub turned out to be legendary because the characters aren't Japanese. In fact, I think I would be more confused if I was watching the sub rather than the dub. Because the accents of the characters are so perfectly ingrained or synchronized with the characters that it just clicks. Like everything sounds perfectly fine and all of that.
Yeah, I think the two shows that I really like the dubs for are Bakano and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yep.
I like and both of those are, as you said, they aren't Japanese characters. So, but for everything else, I prefer the sub because they pick the voice actors that fit the characters, in my opinion. And I don't know, I never had a problem with a bad Japanese voice actor. Like I've never I've never blatantly noticed like this guy just straight up doesn't care. And
Foreign
he's just-
language.
I have.
Foreign language.
Well, yeah, that's part of it. So,
The big part of it.
yeah, like, but I haven't noticed a problem with it, and I don't mind reading. All like to get what the hell's going on. So, I just like subs better.
Even if a foreign language is like, a problem, you can still tell the emotion in their voice when like they're saying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a huge thing too to take into consideration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had more of a problem with bad dubs than I've had with bad subs. So,
Yeah, like along the vein of what Tyler said, I'd much rather just be reading it and be able to hear good inflection than just really bad inflection that I can understand. Like last season, in Inu Battle, the show about like the English club that gained magic powers, there was a like really emotional monologue that was like 3 minutes long.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand a word of it. I don't speak Japanese, but it was amazing.
Yeah.
And I felt an emotion because the voice actor did such an amazing job of presenting it.
And it sounded natural because she's actually Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Okay, I I mean, you guys know that I used to only watch dub when I first started anime, and as most people do, and I really, if there was a dub, I wanted to watch it. And it would be a downside if there was no dub for an anime, if I couldn't like get an anime from a torrent without it being dual audio. Like I'd always look up dual audio. It needs to be dual audio. But then when watching weekly, you kind of have to watch the subs, and slowly, ever so slowly, I became just like wanting to watch the sub only, just because of how much more natural it feels, because that's the original intention and the original language, and it was made to work with. But as an English speaker, I find that if there's a good dub, I want to watch the dub first, just because I don't want to bias myself to the sub and just like close out a good English dub when I'm an English speaker, so I can focus on the visuals of a show. So if there, and first of all, again, it needs to be good, and it gets really easy to get like the definition of good to be a narrow one when you've watched so many subs, because now something needs to be really good to be worthwhile watching the dub. But here's some examples of just dubs that I loved, even after some of them, after watching subs and being used to subs. So Steins Gate, Spice and Wolf, Black Lagoon, Cowboy Bebop, Brotherhood, and Bakano. Those are all really good dubs. Especially Spice and Wolf, just saying. Holo.
Yeah, Spice and Wolf.
Masterful.
I watched subbed first, and then I was in my rewatch. I was gonna watch the subs, and you guys were like, "No, you gotta watch the dubs. You gotta watch the dubs, especially since you're watching it and the rest of the family's hanging out with you." So I started watching the dubs, and it took me about 2 episodes to get used to the holo versus holo thing. That bothered me a lot, but it is a really, really good dub. I'm actually really glad that I'm watching it dubbed.
I never watched the dub, so I don't know anything about that.
It's the sub I understand is also really good, but there's a big difference between holo, dub, and sub. I believe it's what I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
But the dub, the voice actor does an amazing job with holo, like representing what she stands for, like how she acts. But that's just an example of a really good dub, at least when it comes to one character. And if that type of show, one character can make the dub.
Mm-hmm.
So again, but sub can be like, it's my default just because I sort of have to. And also, if there's a good dub, I like just get more enjoyment out of the show, because I can focus on the show more than I would otherwise, where I have to divide my attention between reading and watching visuals, which isn't that hard to do, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, Psycho-Pass 2, which people have many problems with, and I do as well. I haven't even finished it yet, but I had to stop watching the sub because there's problems with the show, but I felt like I liked the original dub of the first season, so I'm like, okay, I'll wait for a dubbed, and then I'll watch it. So that's an example of where I'd want to watch the dub over the sub, just to enhance the show for me, so I can focus on more aspects of it. But it has to be good. Again, that's a really big part of it. So I'm still, even if I'm a sub snob now, which I kind of am, kind of not. If there's a good dub, which is rare, I will want to watch that first. But it's a little hard to do that when now I'm constantly watching airing anime. I want to watch Steins Gate for the 3rd time sub, because I never watched the sub, but I've heard it's great.
It's pretty good.
Like Kill la Kill, the sub is my favorite sub of all time. Just saying, I haven't watched the dub, but I've heard it's decent. I don't want to watch the dub just because
It's alright, yeah.
the sub is so amazing.
The sub is so good.
Yeah, I agree.
I love the characters' voices, their inflections, their emotions, how they sound. It's just so amazing.
I feel like Bakano has the best dub I've ever heard.
It's a really good dub, but generally in the public eye, Cowboy Bebop has the best dub. That's what most people think, and I tend to agree. Black Lagoon also has an amazing dub. It's amazing, but Bakano has a pretty flawless dub. It's pretty flawless.
You guys keep raving about the Bakano dub, but I started with the sub, and I actually prefer that for two of the characters.
That's normal. It's
Like who?
normal.
It's
The
normal.
first thing you watch, when you watch something, you're already biased to it, so you're gonna prefer it to like anything else. That's very
Which
normal.
characters?
Well, it's funny because it's kind of the opposite of what you were saying, where a character could like make or break a dub. To me, character could make or break the sub. Where Isaac and Maria, their voice actors in the sub are just so high energy and off the wall that they really make those two characters.
Oh no. My point about
Uh,
making the dub, it applies to sub as well. Like Ryoko in the sub, and Mako, and Satsuki. Those three make the sub for me.
Mm-hmm.
Gamagori makes this up for me.
Okay, they're all really good. Never mind. That was a really
Every
bad
character.
example. Horrible example. But
But
I can see what you're saying. Though.
you really like Miria's sub?
Yeah.
Because I find her to be really high pitched, and it hurts my ears actually.
Really.
Miria and Isaac were perfect in the dub, if you ask me.
Everyone
I-
was really good in that dub. Like everyone.
I don't know. I just prefer the like super high energy version because,
Well, they're pretty high energy in the dub as
They're
well.
very high energy in the dub.
but they're even more high energy in the sub.
That's like an atomic bomb.
That's why it's amazing. Like every time they come on screen.
Is that all we have to say about dubs versus subs?
I got stuff. I haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, I was wondering. Did Tyler say
Yeah,
anything?
David monopolized that. Tyler, you go and then I'll
Oh,
go.
thanks.
No, it's all good. David had some good points. Definitely. Like, alright. At the current moment, because we all like have so much nowadays, we have so much more easier access to airing anime. Like, you know, each season or whatever, so everyone's like, if you're watching anime, you better be watching stuff that's airing, so they can talk about episode per episode. So I think that's a reason why like the dub market kind of has been dropping and are like not as popular. But
What?
like, you know what I mean? So like, we have to
No,
wait
what?
for the dubs.
But you said the dub market's dropping. It's increasing. If
Yeah, the
anything.
dub market's getting bigger.
It's getting better and bigger.
Yeah, they
Is
had
it really?
like
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
I can see it getting bigger, but I don't see it getting better.
It is
to be
getting better.
honest.
It is.
is it?
Yes. It is.
Well,
There are better. There are better
I think
dubs.
that is offered to like the fact that we are also getting airing dubs now.
Yeah, that's.
Honestly,
that's
aren't those dubs comparably sloppy to the actually like Blu-ray dubs?
Wouldn't they just like be
I-
the same thing?
No, they actually clean them up. I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't know. But either way, dubs are still getting better, whether they're in the Blu-ray or not. They're slowly getting better than what like originally. Like they were horrible. Like original dubs were so bad. Like I looked up things and clips, and they're
Kids
just
for anime. No, wait, no. What was
For
that?
kids.
For kids.
But that's but
Was
I'm talking
it?
about
Yeah.
like the real like when they first started dubbing anime, it was disgusting, and it's just gotten better and better over time. Of course, it's still not great, and you're always just gonna have like gems in the rough. But generally, it's like Psychopaths is pretty good, and that was coming out while it was airing. And among others, the Log Horizon one isn't bad either.
Yep.
Mhm.
They're just decent though. They aren't like at the level that Bakano and Full Metal.
But those
stuff are.
shouldn't be standard setting. I mean, no, they should be, but they're not.
Yeah.
And Tyler, I interrupted you, so you couldn't continue.
No, you're good. Keep going.
No, I
Standard
was done.
setting. Oh, very well.
I just disagreed with. I don't know if you meant to
What
say
was it?
that, but you said that.
I didn't really
dubs.
mean to say that. I was like trying to like lead into the whole dubs airing now. But anyways, no.
Go ahead.
Another thing that I was also like David. I was a dub whore. I watched everything dubbed, and it was like on a huge offset of like an anime wasn't dubbed. And because of that, some shows, for example, Clannad, Angel Beats, Sword Art Online, I will only watch the dub. I cannot
Yeah,
watch the
I
sub
agree.
because I'm used like you get
Clannad,
the voice
it's
in your
not
head.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the voice in your head, and like, all right, I'm gonna put that voice to this character, and then like they change it when you go to in between sub or dub, they change it, and it's like, wait, this doesn't sound right to me. and it just annoys me to no end. So like I'll only watch one or the other. So if I watch it first dub, I'll probably only watch it dub, and if I watch it first sub, I'll probably only watch it sub. I'll never go in between.
I want to add that a way I choose between sub or dub is just to watch the first episode in both sub and dub.
Yeah, I do that as well.
I just exclusively watch sub, which is like, so the problem is like if I want to watch like Clanad with my family now, it's gonna be a pain in the ass for me since I watch the sub, and now I'm gonna have to get used to the dub, and I'm just gonna be like, they're gonna be enjoying the show, and I'm just gonna be sitting there going, everything's wrong, this is horrible. The voices are all they're just not right. I don't understand.
Yeah, like, what was it? It just it feels awkward. Like, it's jarring, and like it takes away from the viewing experience between
I
that.
completely get what you're saying. Like Clanad, the dub isn't that great, but I watched the dub first just because that was in when I was like, and so now if I were to go back, even if the sub is better, I still would probably like I maybe force myself to watch the sub. Just like maybe I could do what Lee did with Spice and Wolf, and acclimate myself to the sub instead. But I'm just used to the dub. Like it's how biases go.
Yeah.
I'm used to the dub, so I'm gonna prefer it. But that might change just because I haven't watched it in so long, and now that I've watched sub so much, I might hate the dub. But I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Quick question: How much experience do you guys have with English voice actors in any medium in general, like games, and other things like that?
I know a fair amount of them.
Like, are they good? Would you see any Japanese voice actor replacing them and doing an equal, if not better job?
I am kind of biased towards English voice actors because, again, with the animation, I pay attention to a lot of like Western cartoons and stuff. And I think that English voice actors can do an awesome job. And if they got like the really top tier voice actors to voice over some more animes, it could turn out really well.
There are definitely certain names for English speakers that come to mind that are like everyone says are really good, and I agree that they're really good because they are really good. So
there's also just people that are industry standards that shouldn't be because they're just standards, and so there's no new talent coming in. Like the dub market would get so much better if like just it wasn't so like elitist and closed off.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who the guy's name, but it's just one guy who dubs like he does sort of like scratchy prepubescent voice. He was the dub of like the main guy from A Dead Man Wonderland. He was Sunahara. He was a few, and it's like it's really really noticeable who he is. Like his voice is so like Tyler. Do you know who I'm talking about? Sunahara from Clanad, his voice.
Yeah.
And I hate that voice. I hate it so much.
Do you really? He's so
I hate
entertaining
it.
though.
It's so annoying when it gets so annoying. Like it has to be a certain character, but he's horrible. Like I hate him so much, and he's in like so many animes just because he's like the industry standard for so many characters. That's just a problem I have.
I pulled it up. His name is Greg Aries.
There you go.
I mean, I don't want to diss like English voice actors, but like it seems when it comes to anime, they're just a lot more talented Japanese people. Like looking at my list,
They treat it so much more seriously.
Yeah.
like Nakata Joji, Arai Satomi, Hiyama Nobuyuki, and Okamoto Nobuhiko. Like, oh my god, their voices.
Wait a minute, you're missing someone. Trying to remember the name. It starts with an M.
Shintani Mayumi. That's another person on my list.
Let me go grab him up.
See, the funny thing is that like, as like the sub versus dub, like I prefer Japanese voice actors. I maybe it's because I don't even know why, but like I can't even notice when I've only just started noticing when the voice actors are the same across different characters. Like it's just like with English voice actors, it's a lot easier to tell
Oh, by the way, my earlier statement about more talent in quotation marks being in anime or for Japanese voice actors, that could be easily influenced by the whole thing. Like, these characters are supposed to be Japanese, therefore they should have Japanese kind of voices. So I'm not saying that, you know.
I think that another thing is that the genre also affects whether the dub is good. Alright, because Japanese, you can feel the emotion, like, you know, when, like, characters are sad or upset, like, it works, but, like, I don't know, I guess some English, like, voice actors don't get that kind of emotion, but yet, like, action shows where, like, people are screaming and, like, fights are going on, I feel like they get those a lot easier as opposed to saddening and dramatic scenes.
Hey Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Mamoru Miyano.
What?
Mamoru Miyano. That's one of like the really good voice actors. If you didn't know.
Who does he play?
He let me just grab it. He have you seen Tokyo Ghoul?
Yeah.
He plays Tsukiyama. The gourmet ghoul.
He also
Gourmet ghoul.
plays the main blonde-haired guy in that one shoujo anime. I forgot what it's called.
He plays
There's-
Okabe.
That one.
Oh, he
Nice.
did Okabe?
Yeah.
Oh, did they?
Okay.
That
yeah.
was-
There's
that's
also the
all.
guy who plays literally almost every protagonist now. The Sword Art Online guy.
Oh yeah,
He's
Yeah, that's-
Bell. He's who else is he?
isn't he? He's who's call it in Food Wars, right?
Yeah, he's that guy.
That's literally the first time I watched Danmachi and then Food Wars right one after another. I'm like, you know what? These main characters sound a little similar to each other. That was the first time I've ever noticed that they've had the same voice actor in any anime ever.
It's pretty much everywhere now.
The first
also,
time I've
Aaron's
noticed-
voice actor's pretty.
But he's really good.
He's really good. Yeah. I was
The
just
first
like, these
time I
guys
ever
sound
noticed
almost
was,
exactly
all
the
of his
same.
all of his roles, he kind of sounds the same, to be honest.
He's still
Yeah,
really
but
good.
he has a
He
solid
does not
main
sound the
character voice.
same in Steins Gate or in Tokyo Ghoul. He did great in Tokyo
No,
Ghoul.
I'm talking about the guy who plays Kirito.
Oh, not Mamoru Miyano?
No, not that guy. That's a different person.
We're
Who the
Let
talking.
me
hell
look
are-
him up real quick.
Who are we talking about right now?
We were talking
We're on
about the
different
guy
guys.
that plays Bell in Danmachi.
Sorry, I was so confused.
Um,
I had no
Kirito.
idea who you're talking about.
and
Because
We're
I
talking
just got finished
about-
talking about Mamoru Miyano, who played Okabe, and then you guys start talking about the guy who plays Balkon and...
We just switched pretty quickly.
Okay, sorry.
Matsuka.
Sorry, guys.
Matsuoka Yoshitsugu.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Oh,
He-
okay.
He literally plays every main character now, it seems.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't have an opinion on him.
I mean, I don't hate him. It's just that he's everywhere now.
hmm
Or at least it seems like it.
Yeah. Looking at his profile,
He was Sora,
he's
he
got
was-
a lot of things.
Who's Kirito? Fuck Kirito. He was the main character in that one show about the making the VN. That was last season.
Oh yeah, it's Sayakano,
Saikano, yeah.
which I still haven't finished. I'm one episode away. Just never got around to watching the last episode.
The
We
one.
should compile a list of everything you need to finish.
Yeah, we do have that list already. It's planned to watch, and it's still growing to this day.
No, it's my currently watching list that's growing.
We're starting with 3 episodes and stopping.
Also, it's funny how in Mal, if you look at Kirito, the first two like voice actors are not even Japanese. They're English and Italian.
Italian.
Weird.
There's an Italian dub.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. Man, too bad Claudio's not here. We could be able to get some like German dub voice going in, like you know,
Actually,
opinions.
Claudio could have contributed to the subs versus or the sub quality argument because he subs German.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
does.
We can readdress it later.
Yeah.
Damn it, Claudio. Oh, anyways, that's all we've got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
that's
done.
it
Oh,
for
I
this
I didn't give my official stance, which
Oh.
is I just watch exclusively sub at this point because I've just noticed better voice quality, and when I'm reading the words, I actually pay more attention to them.
Exactly. That's actually a point that I forgot to bring up is that I watch subs now because it forces me to pay attention to what's happening on the screen.
Hmm.
If
I
I'm
don't have that
watching
problem.
dubs, I will do other things because I can understand what they're saying. So I'll be watching and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Okay, let's check Reddit on my other screen and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I don't have another screen.
Yeah, I don't either.
but
That's the
and that's one of the biggest things that bothers me
Maybe that's
about
why I don't have that problem.
yeah.
you have a phone, damn it. You can do it on your phone. I do it on my phone.
That's a tiny ass screen though.
To like so I'm watching on on my computer monitor and then I'd just be like but like yeah, I would just be looking at my phone or whatever.
Distractions, you can't handle
Yeah.
it.
I mean, ADD probably has something to do with it, but it's whatever.
Well, I think I have one last question.
Okay.
And that's
No.
who is your guy's waifu?
Yes!
Oh.
We're going through with this.
I might get some hate for mine. This is a big
Um,
Ooh.
So you guys can go. Lee, you go
Uh,
first.
Me? I don't know. I don't know if people can guess mine.
I
Hmm.
don't know.
This might be tricky.
I'll
Is
give
it
you
Rin?
guys- Is it who?
Rin.
I can't believe. How did you
Rin
guess that?
Tosaka.
David, how did you know?
It's like a
Dude, what?
How?
What is this?
Am I right? Do I win
Witchcraft?
anything?
You win. You get an imaginary pat on the back. Good job, bro.
That's
And if I ever see you, I'll give you a handshake. I'll be like, congratulations.
oh well. Damn. Okay. Well, that's your waifu.
Aaron,
Alright,
who's
let's-
yours? I'm actually curious.
My waifu
I swear to God, if you say Carlos, I will kill
is Carlos.
you. Yeah.
No,
Use
but
that for a
really,
death wish.
Carlos from the Magic School Bus.
Yes.
that's an anime. Actually, it probably has a Japanese dub now that I think about it.
Yo,
That's
let's Google this RSPSS. Keep
Anyways,
going.
anyways, my real waifu is Shina Mashiro from that one show. What's it called?
Wait,
What is it called? I forgot what it's called.
you forgot what the show's called, and yet
Well, oh yeah, Sakurasu no Pet Kanojo.
oh
Oh.
her.
Yeah.
She's
She's your wife. Okay, that is. I have some problems with that.
Wait, who are we
what?
talking about?
I actually need to watch that
Bashira?
show.
What the hell?
What?
She's your waifu? That's a little.
Wait, who?
Sheena is your waifu?
yeah,
From
Well-
what show?
Okay, from the pet girl of Sakura Sahal.
yeah.
She's it's basically she's been referred to colloquially as autism-chan.
Oh,
I don't have a problem with that.
Oh my god!
I mean, why? Why is that a problem?
No, it's
See,
not
I
a
told you
problem.
guys.
I'm just curious why. Why is she your waifu?
Dude,
Yo, we
she's
were
so,
gonna ask that.
she's so like. Oh, well, she's pretty funny. Plan C was a hilarious moment. She's also really good at drawing, which is something I fucking envy. Like, if I had a wife who was good at drawing, that would be like the ultimate like pairing. And she's like really sweet. I'm not
Okay.
saying that Aoyama is not sweet. I like her too. It's just that I like all the girls, but Sheena is my favorite.
I guess most of you haven't seen the pet girl of Sakura Sahal.
That's actually one of the shows I'm going to be watching, probably starting in the next week. But
Okay,
haven't watched
well, all you need to know is that she's colloquially referred to as autism-chan. So that's why I was a little surprised
so-
when Aaron said that she's his waifu,
What's the reason she's called Autism-chan for?
because it's
She's
like
not
she has
that
autism.
responsive.
She's
She's a savant. That's what
She's a
lot of people like
savant.
to say.
Yeah, she not very responsive. She can't really take care of herself. This is not really spoilers. It's just general knowledge. And so she needs to be taken care of, but she's like masterful when it comes to drawing and like anything else she really puts her mind to. And she's not really good social, like with social stuff. She's very socially awkward, and just doesn't talk much. So there you go. That's why. So that's why I was a little curious. But that's interesting. I didn't know that. Interesting choice. I liked her. I did like her. I did like her. She was pretty good. I liked that show, except the ending.
The main character sucks some big balls. He's also played by the guy who does Kirito.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tyler, who's your waifu?
My waifu would be Eleonora Vitaria from Madden no Otu Vandas.
I have no idea what you just said.
What?
So I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
Wait, is she the main girl?
Vitaria. She's the main girl with the white hair, silver hair.
Seriously?
Wait,
Yeah.
what? I thought it was
Seriously?
Jibril.
No,
Are you serious?
yeah, I'm serious.
Which, I'm not saying that you're wrong.
I know. The question's like Jibril obsession with everything, but she would definitely be waifu. Jibril was just
Was
like
there
an obsession.
was there any character like with her? I don't. That show wasn't exactly like.
I mean, she has tits. I thought that was the only point
It's
of her
not the
character.
show reason. It's the I read the light novels.
That
Okay. How about we focus on only shows? Like, who's your
But
second
there is a
waifu?
show with her. But the show's
But
not
when
that
it comes when it comes to only shows, who's your waifu?
good. Only shows.
That you've
Jibril.
seen? Okay, there we go.
would.
There we go. Got it.
But
Okay.
she Vitaria beats her, man, just by a little bit. All right,
Okay.
who's your waifu?
That's really strange.
Can I take a stab? Can I take a stab at David's waifu?
At mine, you're gonna try to guess mine.
I'm gonna
Are we
try
guess?
and take a stab here.
Okay,
I'm gonna-
I'll give you like one guess. You only get one.
Okay. All right. Okay. I can do this. All right. Let me think. What does David like? David definitely likes all of the harem shows. So
Yeah, right.
so.
You only have one shot, Lee. You have to make it count.
All right. I'm gonna guess.
Oh God.
Go for the instant kill.
Hollow from Spice and Wolf.
I'm really surprised. How did you? That is actually right.
I'm right.
God.
You're right.
Yes.
It is,
you do
and I'm
that?
going because I'm dubbed. I'm dub minded. Yes, it is Holo from Spice and Wolf.
So Hollow.
Hollow. Yeah.
I don't really care how it's said. I just dub. I just watch dub, so it's Holo to me. I'm not bothered by you saying it any other way. But yes, it is Holo, and
Nailed
she is amazing. Her character is amazing, and that's all really there needs to be said, and it should be obvious.
All right. Now they all waited for Alex.
I'm gonna finish strong here. All right.
Wait a minute.
How strong we
Alex.
talking?
Okay, here we go.
Possibly the strongest. I am gonna say Major Alex Armstrong from.
I knew it.
from-
I thought to myself, well, strongest, obviously Alex Armstrong.
Well, is it his muscles or I don't like.
Such fabulous skill at alchemy. That's totally the reason why.
See, I thought you were gonna go with like Olivia. I thought you were gonna go with his sister, but you know.
Okay, well,
well,
this,
done
this
it.
ladies and gentlemen, is an indication of no waifuism.
I just picked one. I think I got it right. I think I picked
Meaning you have not watched. He's not watched enough anime, and yeah, that's basically it.
You see, earlier before we started recording, we were talking about this, like if we should like use this question or not, and we were like, yeah, we'll troll with it, why not? And Alex was just like, I don't think I have one. So he was probably sitting here scouring for one.
I have been this entire time.
You came up with Armstrong.
Have you seen his mustache?
What was that?
Have you seen his mustache?
I've seen everything. And like when I
Everything, huh?
I mean like fan art and all.
Oh yeah,
34.
that's what I'm talking about.
Dojins, maybe.
All right, all right.
Ooh.
Well, this has been enlightening.
Just saying, Carlos is the best waifu.
You don't.
In fact, we should just find fan art of Carlos right now.
No one's gonna know what you mean by Carlos.
no
Just
one
saying.
knows the Carlos obsession, man.
Nobody wants to see that.
I found Carlos fan art.
Who would have thought? Okay, well,
I
anyways,
think. There we go.
this has been very enlightening, guys. It's been fun.
It's been real
Yep.
fun.
It has.
Oh, there's some pairings going on in this. Whoa, why
Say-
does Arnold
so
have a knife?
thank you all for watching. We'll try to
Oh,
contain
no.
Aaron a little bit.
Arnold's gone full yandere.
Please
We
pray
will-
for us.
See you guys next week.
Ciao.
See ya.
Woo!